Hey everybody, GL1 here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Pacific Rim Kaiju. Pacific Rim is a movie that came out in 2013 and a very popular movie, made a really big impact, and people learn that the word kaiju is monster in Japanese, and that Gamera and Godzilla and all the Japanese monsters really are all kaiju. So I have several kaiju here. I'm not going to go into the Jaegers on this. I'll do that in a show I'm going to put on soon. But I'll start here with the first kaiju that came through in the movie is Trespasser. And you could still get this for about $25. And these three kaiju, I have three others from the movies. These three actually have pretty much the same body types, but they were really smart. What they did is they just changed a few parts on them to make them different. So, all right, so this is Trespasser, and he shows up in the movie, from this separation in the ocean floor in the Pacific, thus Pacific Rim, and they come up and cause all kinds of havoc in the movie. The movie can now be seen for free on Tubi, so I thought this was a good time to put this little show on here. So as you can see, this one has 4 fingers on his second hand and 3 fingers on his longer arms, and they really have excellent articulation. These are made by NECA, and they're heavy. They're probably like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. And you can see it's got this part on the back, I don't know, some kind of, shield or carapace, like a beetle. Now, what they did is they changed different parts on them. So this is what's called a Category 3, and then there was a Category 4, Scunner, and this is trying to get this it's about $100. So this one, actually, there's a couple of things that are different on it. All right, so if you look at the connection to the neck, let's see if I can move that out of the way there. All right, so they are pretty much the same, but what they did is you can see they changed the back. The carapace is different, and then they put on this larger rubber or plastic shield that covers the shoulders. You see this can lift up, and then you'd have the same body there, and then that overlaps with this piece, and that's all glued on. So that gives it a different chest. All right, so you can see it gives it a different chest, and all they had to do was swap out the hands, and then you see you have different setup for the hands. You see how this has a very large splayed hands, smaller hands, and this has 3 fingers here, while Trespasser had 4. The toes are the same, and the tails are different. So they changed the tails. Easy enough to do, because the tails are like a rubbery plastic that has a wire in it. You can bend it, and all they had to do was change. You can see they changed the kind of tails that they have on there. So you can see how they're different from the back. So this is a larger one. They added on this extra pieces, this Category 4, Category 3. The more the number goes up, the larger they are. You can see the head, that's obviously easy to change too. They just mold a different head, and you have good head articulation. It's kind of like a hammerhead shark. Then he has the eyes on the sides here, and so that is Scunner. Okay, and pick Trespasser up here. All right, and then Category 5 is Knifehead. So if you look at Knifehead, because it looks like a knife, right? So the neck is actually different. It comes out further to a point, and I'll show you that. So they didn't just do the same mold again. So, okay, you can see how it's more rounded on the left on Scunner and more pointed, comes out more to a point. So, different mold. And this is all molded. It's not, a glued on piece of plastic. So, again, this is all a different mold. And now you're going back to the four fingers. And then you have the big splayed hands again. And let's see, I think the hands are the same. You can see the forearms are the same. Yeah, the hands are the same. They just changed the color. The feet are also the same. And now you have a smaller carapace here. All right, so everything is the same. The thighs are the same. And the tail, actually, on Knifehead and Trespasser are the same. So I don't want to give away the movie, if you get to go watch it on Tubi, but there's a reason why they have similarities. All right. And in the back here, I have a couple of Godzillas. So depending on what pictures you look at or of Godzilla to try to scale Godzilla to these kaiju, the kaiju are hundreds of feet tall and thousands of tons. All right, so thousands of tons. So let's say it's, 10,000 tons, and a ton is 2,000 pounds. So, it's very large, right? Godzilla is also hundreds of feet high and thousands of tons. And depending on what you read about Godzilla, he's, he can be 1,000 feet. He can be 150 feet. I think when he first started out in the 1950s, 55 or so, he was like 160 feet tall. So this, though, is one of the larger Godzilla NECA figures, and really high quality, also heavy, a couple pounds. But you could see that it's smaller than these kaiju, and that's not the scale that he is. He is bigger than these three. Actually, he's bigger than all the ones that I'm going to show you today. This is closer to the scale of Godzilla to the kaiju, but maybe it's somewhere between the two. So again, it depends on what you see as far as that goes. So, all right, but I just thought that that's kind of interesting to take a look at there. All right, now I'm going to get all these guys out of the way. And Knifehead is, you can get Knifehead for about $27. So you could still find this for $27. And I really think it depends on how many they made, how many they sold. So Knifehead was really easy to find. Trespasser was easy to find. Scunner was not. That's why Scunner's $100. And then going also with the first movie, there were two. There was Pacific Rim Uprising. So this one here is Leatherback, and I don't have he came out with another kaiju, like sort of a snaky or eel-like kaiju, and I don't have that. It was really expensive. This guy's $100 to get now, and I got him in a 2-pack with one of the Jaegers for, I think it was $59. And but he looks like a gorilla. He's kind of cute. So he's got good articulation. And look, he even has thumbs that articulate, and he's got individual fingers that articulate. So you really get a lot of articulation with these figures. The shoulders go back and forth, and then the legs go in all directions. You have the ankles, and then you have like a secondary little ankle there. And then you can see even the vestiges of a tiny little carapace on the back there, just sort of like they're all related. And carapaces are, like an insect part, so it's kind of insecty. So if you want to see him next to, this Godzilla, right, much larger. But then if we bring up the other Godzilla, Godzilla should be able to make short work of these fellas, right? So we all love Godzilla. And so that is probably, again, what you look at closer to scale, right? And just, hey, how you doing, bud? All right, so then we're going to look at the multivore category 4 as well, kaiju. And this is a whole nother mold. It looks similar to the others in style, but if you'll notice, one thing that's different, the eyes are on the bottom jaw, and the head, so it's like his head's upside down from what we're used to. And look at how this joint moves back and forth. So you can really kind of get a really alien look to that, the way it moves. And then you have this, doesn't move that much, but have a little bit of movement there. And then this is all new molding, and I'll show you that. But look, instead of having arms, full developed with hands, you just have these like spider palpals here, like tap, 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 And not a lot of fingers, right? But, just big claws. And look at the carapace, on that. It's really knifey, he's got a knifey tail. So, I get that would protect him, right? If you were going to bite him, and then he could protect his neck with his head, and probably move his head backwards and stab you with that too if you were trying to bite his neck. Let me show you next to. I think I'll show you next to Trespasser. So, if you could see, he's bigger than Trespasser, which makes sense because Trespasser is a Category 3, and this is a Category 4. So you can see it's heavier, it's bigger. It's just a more stocky monster. See, it doesn't have that split in the forearm, so that's a whole nother mold. And even the arm is different. You can see this is more human-like with that bicep, and then you could see like the tricep right there. You don't really see that as much on here. It's more like it just has scales that have a texturing to them, like a lizard. And then look, you even have knives, or stabbing implements on the elbows. You don't have that on Trespasser, and you don't have that even on Knifehead. So if we look at Knifehead, which is a Category 5, the thing is Category 5 should be bigger than Category 4, and in this case it really isn't. I don't know, it really didn't work category-wise for the action figures here. But you can see, because he's even bigger than that one. And that one you can get, Leatherback is, Mutivore. He's Mutivore. He's 160. And I know when I saw that, they didn't make a lot of these. This was something that I was like, oh, got to get that, because I didn't see many around. So you can see the comparison. So these two, he's a Category 4 as well. Not as tall as Knifehead, but thicker and heavier. Okay, so, Category 4. Of course, the categories are a human-made category. That's based on the people that were seeing them, in the movie. And then I have one kaiju from Pacific Rim Uprising, and that is Hakuja. And Hakuja is just a hollow vinyl. He's a Category 4. I also saw Category ? They didn't know. You can still get that for $43. It is not the same quality. It's just a hollow vinyl. It doesn't have a lot of articulation. Although this is really sharp. You could actually cut yourself on that. But you can see it's similar to Mutivore in that it has the big knife fingers. It just has that extra, small thumb-like finger. And then even the feet are similar. So I think it's neat that they have the toes in the back. It has two prominent toes in the front, and then you have your stabbing toe in the back, like a bird, Whoops. All right, so you could see, of course, it's got a lot of teeth all over. The head opens up. It doesn't close, and you have all those eyes in there, But they are similar looking, so I like the way that they kept that similarity going on. And you see them from the back. So it's pretty much to scale. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. I know it's a short show, short and sweet, and we'll be getting to the Jaegers very soon, maybe next show. Thanks for watching. Take care.